Carrying the light of the Anzac spirit, a younger generation has gathered at Anzac Square to honour our fallen soldiers ahead of tomorrow's official Anzac Day ceremonies.
At the going down of the sun, and in the morning, we will remember them.
Continuing the long and proud tradition of supporting servicemen and women, schools from all over southeast Queensland joined to lay wreaths at the square's eternal flame. Many of the students proudly wearing medals of their relatives.
Mine's from my great-great-grandpa and my grandpa. And mine's from my dad.
Encouraged to look around and absorb the history, students were served a permanent reminder of the sacrifices made at war.
And I got goosebumps in some of them because I just felt so honoured and worthy, kind of.
Students from Our Lady's College dressed to signify the importance of women in war, including 25 Australian nurses who died in the Great War.
I think we forget the really important contribution made by women during the war. The soldiers are very important, but a lot of them wouldn't have lived if it hadn't been for the nursing, the great nursing care that they received during the war.
And while there has been increased security for Anzac Day commemorations this year, nothing will stop these determined students from one day making the pilgrimage to Turkey.
Well, of course you'd be scared about it, but
I think just to pay our respects there, it would be a really nice thing to do.
The role of men in war is widely covered in our classrooms, but less is taught about our women nurses, something at least one Brisbane school is trying to correct.
It's very important to recognise and remember the Australian nurses who served in World War I. If it weren't for them, some of the soldiers wouldn't have been alive.
Emily Moody, 10 Eyewitness News. Out in force to show their support, thousands lined the streets of Brisbane City to commemorate the proud Queensland veterans who marched in the traditional Anzac Day parade. In light of the freedom that came at such a cost, more than a century on, crowds took the chance to honour all those who have served.
Recognising the bravery of the soldiers that went before us to deliver a standard of life that we have today.
Jets opened the mid-morning march at 10 a.m, with many people having been in position for hours. For those taking part in the parade, it was a day to remember, especially the mates who didn't make it home.
Brings back some horrible memories at times, but it's nice to be able to come and represent those that weren't able to make it back.
It was an emotional day, moving many to tears.
Not that I've had any relatives die, just that I've grown up every year remembering those who did.
But nothing could dampen the Anzac spirit of the veterans taking part in the march.
Terrific. It's a beautiful day.
With poppies and flags filling the parade, all joined in to pay their respects, including 5-year-old Thomas, proud to wear his grandfather's badges.
And just showing the young people, that their fathers and their grandfathers and their great-grandfathers fought for this country, it's special.
And special it was for 100-year-old World War II veteran Olga Anderson, leading the Defence Nurse Unit, thankful for the freedom that has come at such a cost.
We wouldn't be where we are today if we hadn't had the Anzacs.
A sacrifice many are thankful for.
I think we're here and we've got the freedom we have because of the sacrifice that they've made.
With plenty of young faces in the crowd, the legacy of our fallen soldiers more than a century on is sure not to be forgotten.
It means that we remember the men and women that made our country have freedom and peace.
Emily Moody, 10 Eyewitness News. Boxing world champion Manny Pacquiao has hit Australian soil today to promote his battle against former schoolteacher Jeff Horn. The on-again, off-again fight has finally been confirmed for Suncorp Stadium on the 2nd of July.
We weren't sure we were going to get this match, but we bloody well did in the end.
The two fighters have now met for the first time in a press conference. Their bout is set to become the biggest boxing event in Australian history. It will be Jeff Horn's tilt at the big time.
He's world champion as well. He's done so much, but I'm hoping to steal that off him come July 2nd.
Horn has already defeated 10 boxers ranked in the world's top 15, but Pacquiao has been a world champion 11 times. So it's a whole new challenge for Horn, who is younger and says he's hungrier as well.
It's going to be a very tough fight, and he's going to see that come July, especially if he hasn't trained hard for it. If he's taking me easy.
Both fighters are men of action, neither bothered with the usual pre-fight trash talk, instead smiling for the cameras and chatting together. But the Pac-Man says he won't be taking the fight lightly and wants to put on a good show for fans.
My concern is not only to myself, but my concern is for the fans, how they will enjoy and happy for the fight.
With 15,000 tickets pre-sold, organisers of the battle are expecting to host a crowd of 55,000, a record to be held over Suncorp Stadium's iconic State of Origin.
The fight's promoter Bob Aaron believes Horn will give the world champion a run for his money.
This kid will give any fighter out there, any welterweight in the world, a real battle.
If the world champion does lose this fight, there's a condition in his $10 million contract stipulating a rematch. Now it's up to Horn to ensure that return trip. Emily Moody, 10 Eyewitness News.